Name Kinzer was dominant in the 90s at the Nationals, but not before Bobby Allen won in 1990 and became the greatest Cinderella winner in event history. But when Scruffy exited victory lane, Steve Kinzer moved in, teaming with distant cousin car owner Carl Kinzer to dominate from 91 to 94. Steve Kinzer won in his own car in 95, the first year of a $100,000 first place prize. But Carl Kinzer was long from finished, winning with his son Mark in 1996. Dave Blaney won a rain-delayed finale in 97, and Danny Lasowski ended years of futility with his first victory in 98. In 99, Mark Kinzer scored the first of two straight, but the years of dominance for the Kinzer family were on the wane. New stars and new cars were on the horizon of the Nationals. Welcome back to the sprint car capital of the world. After 4 days of racing, it's finally time for the running of the 50th annual Goodyear Knoxville Nationals presented by Lucas Oil. We started off with over 100 competitors. We are finally down to the 24 that will contest for the win here, and what a 24 it is.
Well, it's a full field for sure, and you got to wonder about the butterflies with all these drivers, but especially pole sitter Brian Brown. This is new to him. Sammy Swindell, though, outside front row. I talked to him earlier today. He says he's not nervous at all, and I believe him. Can he pull off his second win in 27 years? Right behind him, Donnie Schatz, four-time and consecutive winner. Don't count him out in the second row.
Yeah, 3 former champions inside of this field here. The third one, of course, the guy that's won it more than anybody with 12 of them underneath his belt. The king is always tough.
Steve Kinzer, you can't count him out in the third row or anywhere in the field. You can't count him out, but especially the third row, he can still get it done.
The mandatory stop could throw all these guys a curveball. We'll find out how it shakes down. But right now, we're going to go around the horn with our 3 pit reporters who have been doing a great job for us here this evening. Let's get down to the first of the 3, and Tony Bachhoven, who's standing next to our pole sitter. Tony?
Tonight's pole sitter is Brian Brown. And Brian, you and I have been coming here since we were kids. Buddy, you've been dreaming about this opportunity. You are on the pole for the Knoxville Nationals. Tell us what it means to you.
And it's just absolutely, you know, since I've been a real young boy, all I ever want to do is come to Knoxville and drive a race car. And tonight I fulfilled one of my lifelong dreams, and I never would have dreamed I'd be on the pole of the 50th annual Knoxville Nationals. And all my guys on the FVP 21 have given me a really good car, and 50 long laps. So we just got to do our job, and I think if we do that, I think we should be in good shape. We got a lot of good guys beside us and behind us. I mean, it's just from a small town guy in Missouri, a kid in Missouri growing up, you know, Knoxville is where you want to be. And I've been here with Danny, and it's just a lifelong dream. No matter what happens, if we run 10th, 12th, 5th, or win it, it's just going to be icing on the cake because it's been one unbelievable week, and just tickled to death and just real proud of everybody that's a part of this FVP 21, the car, the crew, all of our partners, everybody. I'm just tickled to death.
But the kid from the Show Me State's going to try to show them all how a kid makes his dream come true at the Knoxville Nationals. Guys?
Thanks, Tony. 1 week ago, Shane Stewart, you won the 360 Nationals here at Knoxville. Nobody's ever won both. Can you make history and do it here tonight?
You know, I can tell you that this Rockstar Energy Drink team and myself is going to be giving 100%. I got 7 bad to the bone guys and awesome race cars in front of me that want the same thing I want. So I can tell you that I'm going to be giving it 100%. It's going to be a long race. I think you're going to see 2 types of races. I think you're going to see a casual 25, and then the next 25 is going to be pretty wild. So hopefully we're up to the task, and we can get this ART Enterprises car in victory lane.
At any rate, we'll watch that 57 all the way through. Rob Klepper?
Well, thanks a lot, Dave Argabright. Joey Saldana will start deep in the Knoxville Nationals here tonight. Back outside of row number 9 in the 18th spot. Your 14th appearance here at the Knoxville Nationals A-Main. And I got to say, if you could get to the front in this 50-lapper, you'd have a little history. Your dad won this thing 40 years ago tonight.
Yeah, it'd be pretty amazing, but definitely 50 laps gives you an opportunity. You know, we're just going to do the best we can, and if we make the right adjustments, hopefully we'll be all right.
It's the Brownsburg Bullet, guys. The current World of Outlaw sprint car points leader has a lot of cars to pass. Back up to you.
And, of course, that would be a very special moment, not only for him, but for his father as well, if he could pull that one off. Well, speaking of special moments, Donnie Schatz has 4 consecutive wins and could make it 5 here tonight. As we've already told you, only one other person in the history of the Nationals has been able to accomplish that, and that is Steve Kinzer. Rob Klepper had a chance to speak with him earlier about the rivalry with his teammate.
What's the chemistry like between you and Donnie Schatz? Obviously, he's going for his 5th this year. You're going for your 13th. I mean, he's trying to tie you as the only two guys that win 5 in a row. But what's the chemistry been like between you this year?
Oh, me and Donnie's got along really good. He's been a good teammate, good friend, and Donnie's always been probably one of the cleanest race drivers out there. He races you hard, but he's not going to just come in and run over you or whatever. And does a good job. He's been fast enough the last 4 years that probably hadn't had to do some of that. That can clean you up a little bit right there if you're good and fast. But he's a great guy to work with, and I guess if I couldn't win it, I'd probably put Craig in second and then Donnie third, though.
Well, he's at least speaking from the heart there.
Yeah, he's talking about his son, Craig Kinzer, who won the Knoxville Nationals in 2005.
So when we come back, we will fire him up. It is time for the A-Main and the 50th Goodyear Knoxville Nationals. Mark Kinzer began the new decade with a second straight victory in 2000. But it was Danny Lasowski and Tony Stewart Racing in the winner's circle in 2001. Steve Kinzer scored a popular win the following year, pushing his Nationals win total to an amazing even dozen. Tony Stewart Racing established themselves as the dominant team of the decade, winning again with Lasowski in 2003 and 04. In 05, Craig Kinzer parked in victory lane in a rain-delayed finale. And the following year, Donnie Schatz began his string of dominance with the first of 2 wins in the family sprint car. In 2008, Schatz joined Tony Stewart Racing and never missed a beat, continuing a stronghold on victory lane that is yet to be broken. 49 years of drama and action, joy and despair, victory and loss, with a cast of characters that captured the imagination of a sport like never before. The Knoxville Nationals is still going strong, capped off with this year's Golden Celebration. We are at the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville Raceway, for the 50th Goodyear Knoxville Nationals, presented by Lucas Oil. No, it's not the D, it's not the C, it's not the B. It is time for the A-Main. They're pushing them off right now, and all of our pit reporters are standing down there. They've been having a little huddle, if you will. And why? Well, we're going to find out who they're picking to win this thing, guys.
Who do I pick? This situation, how do you go against Sammy Swindell? He's got the momentum. He's got a front row starting spot. This is a no-brainer. You got to go with Sammy. What do you think, Tony?
It's been 27 years since he's won it. He's got his best car underneath him. I'm picking Sammy Swindell.
What about it, Rob?
Well, it's really tough. I thought about this all night long. He won the front row challenge. He ran to second in the 360 Nationals. He won the preliminary night. As you mentioned, 27 years. I think I'm going to go with Sammy Swindell.
There you go, guys. Unanimous. What do you think?
Brad, who are you going with?
Well, it's going to be hard. I have to agree with those guys. Sammy Swindell, this is his best shot in 27 years to win this race.
I'm going to go against the grain and go with the guy that's won it the past 4 years, Donnie Schatz. I think he might have the magic one more time. Here's a look at your Goodyear A-Main lineup. Brian Brown on the pole and Sammy Swindell on the outside.
Row 2 on the inside, Greg Hodnett. Of course, the 4-time winner, Donnie Schatz on the outside.
We'll go back and pick up row number 3 and find the king, Steve Kinzer, looking for 13, and then the 13X of Darren Pittman will start in the 6th position.
Row 4, Tim Schaefer. He's had a good couple of weeks leading up to this event. So has Shane Stewart. He's won 4 of his last races entered.
Let's go back to row number 5, the ASCS standout, Jason Johnson with the 41 car, and then Dale Blaney in the number 2.
Kerry Matson on the inside of row 6, outside Skip Jackson, couple local guys here.
Let's go to row number 7. We'll find the 12 car of Len Jeffrey and the 7S of Jason Sides.
Row 8 inside, Dusty Zomer. Outside, Davey Haskin, another couple of local guys here filling out the field.
And some young guns there, and zoom. Chad Kemenaugh, the 63 car, back here in row number 9, and then the Brownsburg Bullet, the number 9 of Joey Saldana.
Row 10, Aaron Crocker, making her first start at the Knoxville Nationals in quite a while, gets in as outside of her, Brandon Wimmer.
Let's go back to row 11 and find the people that work their way up through the alphabet soup, Stevie Smith and Paul McMahon side by side.
And again, Josh Schneiderman, a young guy doing a good run to get in the A-Main. Outside of him, Craig Delansky.
And that will round out your top 24. The sweet lights are flashing as they do the parade lap. They go 4 wide. Everybody in this place, some 35,000 people standing and applauding.
Boy, this place will give you goosebumps, especially this weekend. This crowd, the energy, you can just feel it.
One of the most beautiful sights in motorsports right there. And the 21 car of Brian Brown will be on the pole. We heard from him. What a special moment. As a driver, what are you feeling right now?
Well, we talked about this earlier. He's got to just block it, all this out and just try to think of this as another race. It's about impossible, but that's what he's going to have to do. If he falls back early, he doesn't want to let himself get rattled. Just hang in there toward the end. It's 50 long laps.
It seems to be a little bit easier for the guys once they get the helmet on, once the car gets started and you're actually out there, nobody's talking to you anymore, you're driving around the track, things tend to calm down.
That's a good point. Leading up to this, absolutely, there's so many things you worry about and you think about, but once you're strapped in that car, it just kind of your natural abilities take over and it's up to you at that point.
So we get them lined back up, side by side. Sammy Swindell on the outside, the 21 car of Brian Brown on the inside. And some of the absolute best to ever climb behind the wheel of a sprint car back behind them as they roll around out of turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we are racing here at the 50th Goodyear Knoxville Nationals presented by Lucas Oil.
Wow, and already cars 3 and 4 wide all the way down the straightaway here, trying to make something happen. Brian Brown jumps out front.
Everybody through turns 1 and 2 cleanly. Brian Brown with the early lead. Here comes Schatz right off the bat. Sammy Swindell takes over the lead.
Boy, Schatz came right up through the middle there, turned the car. Looked like he was going to go by Brown, but he lost some ground to him. Brown now closing on Sammy Swindell down the back straightaway.
Brian Brown, a former track champion here back in 2007 at Knoxville, has finished in the runner-up position on 2 other occasions. He is tough. He knows this place well.
Well, Ken, he is the current point leader here at Knoxville on a weekly basis, so he definitely knows his way around.
Also won a championship here in the 360s. Right now up there riding that cushion. Sammy has decided to get down low, and it's going to cost him right here. Brian Brown makes a bid for the lead.
But Sammy Swindell goes up and blocks him on the cushion in 1 and 2. But what I like there, Brian Brown's car looked like he was working through the middle of the racetrack. That is important right now.
Shots down low. He comes right up through the center of the turn as well in the exit.
Another shot there. You can see the vapor trails coming off the top of the wing as they go down these long straightaways at about 120, 130 miles per hour.
And we also heard these guys before. They do not lift. When the car is right, they do not lift.
When things are working right now and the track slicks off, they have to. The driver has to have a lot of throttle control, run the brake, be easy with the steering wheel, not shake the car loose. So as the track slows down and gets slicker, the driver has to finesse the car somewhat more.
We saw Greg Hodnett there out of Thomasville, Pennsylvania, 2010 PA Speed Week champ. 6 wins on the season, 26 top 5s and 48 starts.
And you see Darren Pittman closing on him there, but look at the smoke out of that car. He's going on board with him here. You can see it over his left shoulder there. Don't know if it's just a breather blowing some smoke out or a leak or what's going on with that race car. We'll have to watch. Oh, definitely a problem there, though, for Joey Saldana.
Joey Saldana out early, and Saldana, who's having such a spectacular year otherwise, has really struggled here this weekend. And Sammy Swindell, at 54 years of age, has a passion inside of him as hot as ever. The caution flag will come out for Joey Saldana. We'll take a look at him one more time as he does pull down off the track. Just didn't get there quite in time to keep the caution flag from coming out. So that'll bunch everybody back up. We'll take a small break here and we'll come back to the A main. Stay with us.